What's up, guys? Welcome to the sesh. Today I got a special guest, Jesse De Leon. Introduce yourself, man.
Hi, my name is Jesse De Leon. It's my second time on Joshua's podcast. Thank you for having me again. Our company does online sales. We do we sell on all the major platforms: Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Fairhouse. So wherever there's eyeballs, that's where we're at. So we have businesses in McAllen. We've been around for like 20 years. We ship all over the world, all over the country on a daily basis. So
before we go into the meat and bones of this, I remember I never got to thank you for allowing me to intern for you.
Oh, yes.
So when I got pushed out of my business years ago, I called you up and said, hey, can I intern for you? I think it was like 3 months.
Yeah, 3 or 4 months, yes.
3 or 4 months. So if you were to rank me on a 1 to 10 scale of how good I did, how would you rank me?
Well, I mean, what you were doing was different than what everybody else does. So 90% of the people there are workers. Basically, they either pack, they finish the goods. You were on the office side doing the technical part. So, but you did pretty good. I think you learned a lot. I think you realized how wide open the internet was at that time, and it still is, and it just keeps growing. And so it's just a matter of picking the right items at the right time and having the know-how to put it in front of those people that are actually looking for them.
Okay.
Because you could be selling, I don't know, mangoes, but if you're selling them to people that are not interested, well, you're just wasting your time and your money.
So before that, okay, so to explain what you sell and how you sell it.
Okay. So you want the long story?
Long story.
So long story is that I started with the Mexican restaurant. I used to work for Taco Cabana in Houston. I was the vice president. I had the entire Houston market, 36 restaurants, the whole thing. So I've been in the restaurant business all my life. Once the company got sold to another company, they brought in their own people and they pretty much let everybody go. I got my severance package and I said, you know what? I'm going to open a restaurant. Why not? So I opened a restaurant. My degree is in restaurant management, by the way. So I opened a restaurant in Houston, and of course, it took me a year and a half to make money. I took an existing restaurant that was just bad, and so the only people that were coming in, you changed it now. So now you lost the people that were coming into the bad restaurant, and you didn't have any new people because they still think you're the bad restaurant. So it took me a year and a half, and I remember that day. It was a Friday night. First time we ever had a wait on a Friday night. Wow. And we sat like 150 people. So that's when I knew I made it. But it took me a year and a half, and if it wasn't for credit cards and just ingenuity, I would give the checks out to the employees on Friday. That's back then when they wouldn't clear. After 2, because I knew they wouldn't clear, so that the money coming in from the weekend will cover the checks. Yeah. Many times, I couldn't pay myself. Many times, but that's how I started. So then we started decorating the restaurant with merchandise, and then after a while, people were saying, "Well, can I buy that?" I'm like, "No, you're crazy. It's no." And one day I said, "Okay, what do you want to buy?" So they started buying stuff, and I'm like, "Okay, this is pretty cool." So then I started putting price tags on all the decorations. Crazy people go, "You forgot a price tag." No, it's for sale. So the tagline was, "Like the decor, buy it." So after a while, it became 10% of our business. Interesting.
So you maximized every single piece of square footage.
It's kind of like a Cracker Barrel before there was a Cracker Barrel. Because you go to Cracker Barrel, you walk in and you buy stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Ours was basically the decor. So then people wanted to buy furniture. So then I started taking booths out of the restaurant and I started putting furniture. And then people said, well, I want to buy in bulk. I'm like, okay, sure. So then I rented a little warehouse and started bringing in merchandise in bulk. So then we would go out in the parking lots on the weekends and just set up. It took us 4 hours to set up and sell stuff on the parking lot, put it back in the boxes and put it back in the warehouse.
You do that every single week?
Pretty much every weekend, yeah.
Wow.
And after a while, we started getting the following. So then we started doing the wholesale part, and then we started doing the wholesale shows, the trade shows. So back then, and you still do, you would go to the trade shows, and if you had a store, you would place your orders for merchandise like every retail store does. And so we were the other end. We would sell. We would do the booths and sell stuff. So I was gone 3 months out of the year. We were spending like $80,000 a year in shows.
Wow.
So now we don't do any shows. So what happened was basically after a while you just start realizing that the internet is where it's at. So we started doing the website. We started with eBay. How
long ago was that?
Oh God, 2000, probably 15, 20 years.
Okay.
Back when eBay was an auction site, I was selling items that were cost me $10 for $200, and they would fight. They would fight for stuff. And the best part of eBay back then was that you would offer a second chance to the losers. So all of a sudden, I had more than one of those items. So the first person paid $200. The second, hey, don't worry, I'll get you one, $195. sold that. So after a while, you sold 3 pieces at $600 or so. So
wow.
back when it started. So then after eBay started going down, we went into Amazon, then Etsy.
So you're one of the first ones to get into like Amazon when it started.
Yeah,
so.
when it started.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's Amazon is the platform that most sellers hate, and it's because it's become so customer centric that no matter what the issue is, they're going to return it, and you're going to lose it, and you're not going to get your money, and you're also going to pay for the shipping that way and back.
Oh, so that comes out of your pocket?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So and then it's become that, and so I mean I've gotten stuff that people use. It comes back with glitter, and and what do? It'll take you more time to try to dispute it than to just eat it.
Yeah, but you can only get to that point when you're selling volume.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So kind of explain that, like how you started, because I think like for me right now, I'm starting to sell butter the gods, and I figure out the packaging. I already got the labels, and I called you up and I was like, hey, what problem am I going to run into here? And he's like, shipping. Yeah. It's the cold shipping is what's going to be the problem. But I figured it out that I started looking online, and for you to buy anything cold at this point, it costs about $16 to $25 just to get it shipped.
Right.
So that's the norm.
Okay.
Like I figured that. I was like, you know what? I have to charge the shipping, pass it off to the customer. Exactly. So I just upped the price on the butter, and I went free shipping. Yeah. So it looks like it gives more value to the product and less than the shipping.
So when you called me and said, what do I do about the shipping? I said, because that's going to be the issue. So what we realized quickly was we had to offer free shipping. One, the main reason was because we didn't have the time or the people back then to try to email back and forth what the shipping was going to be. Because you would say, hey, I'm in California. How much is it going to cost me to ship? Hey, I'm in New York. Hey, I'm in Dallas. We don't have the people at the time to be telling you exactly what it was. So we figured out an average, kind of like what you did. So we figured out an average, and we added it to the shipping. And so now it's free shipping everywhere. So in some, you may lose a little bit, but in most cases, you do pretty good or make a little bit. So when we ship to Texas, we're making money on the shipping. When we ship to Washington Island and Washington State or wherever that is, you're losing money.
And you've shipped pretty much everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah. I mean, we ship all over the world as well. So that's the key. It's like shipping costs has to be built. It's because you just can't.
Nobody wants to pay for shipping.
Nobody wants to pay for shipping. Yeah, but they're paying for it. They just they're naively
rewired.
Exactly.
Rewritten.
So we do shipping on all our platforms pretty much, except in the wholesale site, which is a big site for big buyers. So
one of the most interesting things that I noticed about you, how your operation works, is you actually ship the stuff out of your actual location. So you have guys that are boxing up things, and it's not small things either. You figured out how to ship huge ass things across the nation.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Every time you hear something about like you're gonna get into e-commerce, find something small enough to fix into a box that you can ship easily. Yeah. But you do not do that, because I saw a picture of your stuff last time. You just had tons of boxes everywhere. How did you figure that out?
Trial and error. So we have different websites. So each website is different. So like Amazon is you're on the Amazon platform and you're selling direct to the buyer. You're just using platform system. Amazon system. So those are going to be one item, one box, one item. So once you start doing the wholesale sites, which is Fair, we started on Fair this year, and it's just crazy. And so when we were doing the trade shows, we would appeal to the retail stores that were going purchase orders for their stores, but we no longer do the trade shows because it just got too much time, too expensive, and too much time consuming. So we found out a place called Fair, F-A-I-R-E, great site. And so now we have that part of the business we didn't have, which is the retail store owners. They just go online, they order it, and we ship it in 3 to 5 days. So those are going to be when they buy $2,000 worth of stuff, and there's like, all kinds of shapes and sizes. And so if you start boxing them, one, it's going to be too expensive because the labor and the boxing and the packaging material will be too expensive. So we put it on a pallet, which is a truck by truck. Okay. And so we have these big, they're called Gaylord boxes, which is the big box, kind of thick, that sits on the pallet perfectly. And so you just fill it up. You just fill it up, and then you just weigh it. You ship it out to them. We have third party companies that we deal with that we ship through. So it's just trial and error. It's just trial and error. So the thing we figured out with the business, kind of after 10 years, is that I could do, because I started just doing wholesale. Mm-hmm. That's how we started. But once the house market crashed, I ended up with so much inventory and no one to buy it.
Damn.
So I'm like thinking, what do I do now? Because no retail stores are open, really. I mean, we had items that were paid for and were returned to us because the business closed.
Oh shit.
That's how bad it was. So we lost, 70% of our customers, the retail customer. So we started doing the online business, started doing that. So that's how that started, doing the online, because everything has been like forced to change, I guess. We have adapted because COVID, same thing. You adapt and you just keep adapting.
Yeah, you have to figure out a way to make your business work. And I think we were talking about that earlier. It's like when you get into the restaurant business, what was the statistics that you were telling me earlier?
So restaurants, I used to have 2 restaurants on the restaurant business in Houston. So what happens is it's the number one failure, I guess, venture, you can say. Most banks won't lend money to restaurants. So 80% within 5 years, 50% first year.
Jeez.
That's the failure rate. And it's crazy. It's just,
wow. Yeah, and I've seen it all across the Rio Grande Valley. It's like a lot of places have closed down, and it's the concepts are amazing, but it just doesn't work. It's strange. It's the weirdest thing in the world to see. Like a lot of people put their hard-earned money into something that they think is gonna work, and then it just ultimately fails.
Yeah, they think it's a glamorous business, exciting business, but it's hard work, man. It's 24/7. It's
What is it about the restaurant industry that makes it so difficult?
The people, hiring the right people, because there's so many pieces to the puzzle. So you have a restaurant, your dishwasher doesn't show up. You have no dishwasher. What are you gonna do? You have to pull somebody else. Yeah, your main cook can't come in. What do? Everything is made fresh. Everything's made that day. And so your waiters don't come in. It's Super Bowl Sunday. You're open.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Who's gonna show up?
Yeah.
What do you do? I mean, there's so many pieces that you have to be very ingenuity just to keep it open. It's hard, man. It's hard. I tell people, don't do it. Just don't do it. Just save your money or save your marriage. That's what I say.
Yeah,
Either
that's
one.
interesting. Yeah,
one or two or both. It's gonna happen. It's just.
Let me ask you this. So obviously there was levels to how you achieved success in the whole e-commerce space, but what would it look like for a person starting off on year one selling a product online? What are those challenges that you went through that you look back at now and say, I would have done this differently?
So I think if you're going to, there's money to be made online. So you got to start small. Pick one item. Like I think we had this talk. Pick one item or 2 items and start there. Figure out what the item is. Do you have competition? Okay. And can you compete either, maybe not on price, but maybe on service and quality? So that's the thing. Like we don't compete on price. So we found our niche, such a specific niche. It's rustic decor, let's call it. That we have, we don't have a lot of competition, and what we've done is and we're usually not the cheapest, but because people have come through the years and realized that ours is going to be the best quality, and we're going to take care of you after you've gotten the item and going to ship it fast. So people have learned that. But if you're starting out, figure out what the item is, do a little bit of research. Where is it selling? Is it selling on Amazon? Is it selling on Etsy? Is it selling on eBay? Where is it selling, first of all? And can you compete on that? And start with one item. Let's say it's Amazon, and start there. That's how we started with eBay back then. It was easier back then. Now, like Amazon has a lot of requirements. You can't sell this item because it's already max, and so on and so on. You just got to do your research.
Wasn't the same thing with Amazon too? Is like they'll come in and see your product, and then they'll do the exact same thing, just sell it lower price.
Back then, they were doing that. So Amazon started as a bookstore, basically, and then after a while, they realized that they could just copy you and sell it themselves for cheaper, and then that evolved into let's just let them. Us, the sellers, the third-party sellers, just use our platform and we'll just charge them 15%. So now that has become the main ingredient or main thing for Amazon now, that the third-party sellers are now doing all the work and they just take their 15%. So because we do, and you can do the FBA, which is fulfillment by Amazon. I've never wanted to do that. It's just because you just need like 2 or 3 people just to handle that part, because then you have to ship all your items to them and
to the warehouse, right?
And I never wanted to do that. They asked me a million times, but I don't. We do it ourselves. We have some control. Our sales would climb up dramatically, but at what cost?
Yeah.
And so I just stayed away from that. Just
Interesting.
Yeah, I stayed away from that.
I found that also with that whole HEB thing, like with the Primo picks, like some people will win every single year, and then you'll see just like the next few months, HEB will come up with the exact same product, a different name, a lower price. It's kind of like I get it. I get it from the business point of view, but it's like they're going out and finding talent, and then taking that talent, making it their own, and say, "Fuck you guys, sorry," and you'll get lower space on the shelves. It's a very interesting thing, like with the Topo Chico. Now they have the 1877,
and that's theirs.
It's theirs. It's their version. So and it's cheaper, and actually it's better.
Is it? Oh man!
Interestingly, it's better. But I've noticed that with like HEB, like they'll have these Primo picks, and you'll compete from February to August, and then you get to compete with your item. If it does well, then they give you like a $25,000 check. They'll give you shelf space, and then the next year it's like, all right,
you should do your butter there.
I have a version. I have a version of the butter because I know as soon as HEB gets it's gonna make a cheaper one. So
it's capitalism.
It's capitalism. Yeah, I want to be part of that capitalism.
Yeah.
But I think the whole e-commerce space is a very interesting topic because I've built e-commerce stores for people. And I the one thing that I've noticed is that they simply just do not put any marketing or anything behind it. Like they expect it when the store's up, they just expect stuff to sell.
Yeah.
So give some tips on how somebody can be proactive when they have an actual store. How can they do this stuff like to get the eyeballs in front of the people?
So currently we don't do any advertising. That's the best part. We don't.
No advertising.
No advertising.
So how the hell did you do it?
So you might be asking the wrong person, but we do some Facebook ads. We've done Facebook ads for like when we have the warehouse sales at locally. We've done that. We do some ads on Facebook. Very few, not much on the candle pour line.
So would you attribute to the success to like the Amazon where you got to get the emails and all that stuff from people from eBay and stuff like that, or
it's just over the years you just built it, and so the more you sell on those platforms, the more you sell.
Okay.
Because every sale potentially has a feedback, a review. So the more reviews, the more sales, the more sales, the more reviews, and so on and so on. And so it's a gradual thing. But Facebook is always good and it's not expensive. Instagram is also good. I've done some Instagram ads, but very, very selective.
Yeah.
I think it's just with us, it's just been
you have that customer base.
Yeah, I have the base.
Yeah.
And like I said, we have our hand in the cookie jars and all the different places. So we have wholesale, we have third party, we have drop shipping. You know what drop shipping is?
Yeah. Explain that. So
drop shipping is when you sell items through another company. Like for us, it would be Wayfair, House. We put our items on their platforms. Okay, we sell it to them at a wholesale price. They mark it up, usually 2.5%. So when you go to Wayfair and you bought an item that is ours, we get your order. Okay, we'll ship it to you. You don't even know who we are. There's nowhere in the label. Return address is our name.
Yeah.
But that's called drop shipping. I mean, we ship stuff to McAllen and Edinburgh, and it's funny, and Mission, and it's on Wayfair. So they bought it on Wayfair.
And shipping from right
and
here.
shipping from right here.
So if I were to build a website right now and have your items on it, it would be drop shipping. It would go from your
I would
place
drop ship for you.
straight there.
And we get probably once a month. We have people that are starting out that wants to just. Can I get all your photos and can you drop ship? No, I mean, we're not at that stage that we want to experiment with you. I'm sorry.
you.
I mean, I'm not trying to be gacho, but
it's true.
It is.
Because
We don't
you
have
just don't have time.
We don't have the time. Yeah, we already,
And that's interesting fact, the point that you just made, because somebody was asking about if they can get mentorship from an entrepreneur the other day on one of my posts. And I was like, if I were to go to you again today and ask you if I can intern for you and take up some of your time, chances are it's probably not going to happen because you're so damn busy.
Yeah.
I don't think people really understand that. Like when you get to a certain level and you start, like you're going, you don't have time to stop.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, we're up to almost 50 employees.
Wow.
We ship about 1,000 packages a week on the average, maybe 1,200. And you should see our FedEx bill. It's just,
So when you get those huge ass bills, because I'm preparing myself, I'm already mentally saying that I'm going to be there. When you see these big ass checks going out, what's going through your head?
If I have to tell anybody that's starting out what to do is get yourself a great credit card that has miles.
Okay.
Okay. Key. Do not pay anything by check if you don't have to, do not pay anything with a credit card that does not give you miles. The most important thing you're going to do, okay? The best one for me is American Express. You know, it is the best. We travel for free.
Wow.
And we'll probably be traveling for free for the rest of our lives.
Wow.
And those
are the perks of being.
Yeah, and during COVID, boy, I mean, we racked up miles and couldn't use them.
Yeah.
Right? Think about it. So you're paying. You're selling, paying, but nobody's flying.
Huh.
So make sure you get a great. There's visas. There's all kinds that gives you great miles.
Yeah.
For me, it's American Express. If you can get American Express, get it. Just get it.
So let's talk about leverage as far as using other people's money to get started for your business. I know that like if you open up a credit line like that, you use the money from the bank instead of using your own cash. Can you kind of touch on that?
Yeah, I mean, when we were starting the business, I mean, I had my accountant would get mad at me because I probably had like 12 credit cards. Because back then nobody was lending money, especially to a person selling online for rustic stuff. So I was paying interest rates crazy, but I made it, right? And I don't suggest that to anybody. It's hard doing credit cards. But with the idea for you, if you're going to start with an item or two items, they're going to pay you first, right? They're going to pay you first, okay? So that's the idea, is that you start selling the items, they pay you first before you ship.
Yeah.
So be smart.
Use that money.
Use
don't
that money.
Spend it
and
on
you keep
some
buying
seafood dinner.
Exactly.
At Papa Do's.
Yeah. Don't go to expensive restaurants. So that's the main thing, is you're gonna be using their money. And so there was times I remember when it was slow during the wholesale business, I would send out an email that says, hey, at the trade shows when money was tight, we're at the trade shows and you're taking orders. Well, when you take orders at a wholesale, you don't charge them until you ship it. So you're at a trade show. By the time you get home and you get all the stuff, it's going to be 10 to 14 days before you can charge money, right?
Yeah.
The key was charging their credit cards, right? So what do you do if you're not going to make it for those 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So what I came up with during the show is, hey, let us prepay now, okay? And we're going to give you 10% discount. 70% would do it. So as we're at the shows, I'm calling the people back at the shop.
Yeah.
Run this card. Because you had to
it's
get
the hustle you need to get your money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you need the money to keep afloat.
Yeah.
And so some things you just got to get creative. I mean, it's just you have to get. So many times you have to get creative.
Well, interestingly enough, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Interestingly enough, the water that we've been buying, I just bought it. It's Liquid Death. So this guy made a rendered 3D model of a can of water.
Okay.
And he made commercials with it. It went viral. And then he went to his backers and to, I guess, the people he wanted to invest in it. And he said, look, this is going viral. Give me the capital so I can go and make this. Wow. So he got all the virality of it, went out to find his investors. Then he went to go purchase the water and I forgot from where, but then he made the water. So they're worth about $900 million right now. And he didn't even have a fucking product. That's mind blowing to me. So that's kind of the same model that I'm doing now. Is I have the butter, I have the recipe, I have all the stuff ready for it. I have the viral commercial. I'll show you after this. I want to get your thoughts. But now we can take in the orders and get the cash first, and we have a 7 to 8 day waiting period before it's even going to ship out.
Yeah.
So I think that was a smart move, because I don't want to be stuck with a bill.
No.
And the last thing I want to do, the only thing is I'm worried about now is how the butter is going to ship to the person's place, and if it melts, well, then I'm screwed. So I have to figure that out.
I can't ship during July, June.
I know. It was a very interesting thing, because I've been wanting a product. Like what I do is a service-based product, right? But now I actually have a physical product that I can ship out, that I want to explore this area that I've been waiting for like the past 5 years to dabble into. So if you were to give me some best advice, the top 3 things for me specifically, what would you say?
Don't overpromise, okay? Never do a specific date. Like say, it's going to ship within 3 days. Always do a range. Always. Never pigeonhole yourself. Say 3 to 9 days, 4 to 10 days, 5 to 12 days. Don't get specific, because they will call you out. They will tell you, hey, where's my item? You said it was going to be 3 to 5 days. It's been 7 days. And they will count the weekends, okay?
Yeah.
Even though nothing ships during the weekend, right? So, but they'll count it. So that's
Because people are waiting for their product.
Oh, yeah.
An excitement.
Oh, yeah. To me, it's just the wood bowl. To them, it's
Yeah.
like the greatest thing, you know? They have a party tomorrow. They need it today, you know? And so I would say don't over promise. And that's the main thing. Video, you know this, and I'm realizing that this year is video is in. Video. Get yourself Instagram. Get yourself Facebook. Just post. You know, you got to get out there. Consistency.
Yeah.
Don't just do it once a week. And that's what I've been doing now. It's just, and it's funny because, you know, you get a follower once. If you get a follower one or two a day, heck.
Yeah.
After a while, guess what?
Yeah, the interesting thing about that is the consistency that if you do it every single day over the year,
Right.
you see the results. You don't see it right then and there when you're doing it, but you literally have to be consistent every single day because that one, and I always say this, it's the quality of the viewer versus the views.
Exactly.
Like, because I've met so many people, my videos don't get a ton of views, but the quality of the viewer will reach out to me and talk to me, and that valuable insight is worth that effort that I put into those
Exactly.
videos.
Yeah.
So I find it interesting.
You want to get those people that are going to buy. You don't want people that are just, like they say, tire kickers, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's the main thing. So
then the third.
the third one, I just had it, but I forgot it. Wait, I'll come back to it.
Okay.
I had it, but then we started talking.
So what struggles are you going through now since you've been in business for so long? What are those things that happen over the 5 years that you're like, okay, shit, I have to adjust?
So I think the main one currently, or for the last year, has been as you get bigger and bigger and bigger, people will come after you, basically. And so now it's been.
You're talking about a competition or like hitmen
or previous customers that are now copying your designs.
I got you. Okay.
You know, so we had that happen twice now. So they take an item that we do and just copied it. I mean, just copied it somewhere else. They stopped buying from you and they started copying it somewhere else. So then you get to the point where you get mad, you get angry, you go, I'm going to sue them. You talk to an attorney, you start the process, and then one letter and you're $9,000. And then you go, whoa.
Jeez.
And then you go, okay, you know, this has just started.
Yeah.
You just sent a letter. Now we're going to respond to their attorney's letter. Do you keep going? You're at 9,000 already.
Yeah.
They're charging $250 an hour, 3 attorneys.
Oh, geez.
And then when they talk to each other, guess what? The meter's running. So you're like, okay, what do I do? So you have to decide. I mean, what's best for you? Do you just say, you know what? I'll just keep creating new designs.
Yeah.
And let them copy it and just educate the people that ours is the original, ours is the best quality. And when you buy theirs, well, good luck, you know.
Huh.
So that's what we did. I mean, fast forward to now.
Yeah.
It's like we just said, you know what? It is what it is. You know, it sucks.
Keep taking the punches.
Yeah, it sucks. You know, I hate it. It just pisses me off.
Yeah.
It's just like, dude, it's exactly like it. It's exactly like it. You know?
It's the strangest thing in the world. Entrepreneurship. I feel like nobody should do it and everybody should do it.
Yeah.
Because the freedom that it gives you to experience the life you get to live and the freedom and the time that you get to work. We were talking about what time you wake up. You wake up at what time?
4:30.
4:30. So I can only tell myself to wake up at 5:30. This just happened like last month.
Yeah, I was reading your post. Yeah.
It's a very interesting thing. Can you kind of touch on how waking up early helps with your productivity?
So I think one of the big reasons I think that I successful, I guess you can say, is that all my life, and I think it came from us working in the fields. I mean, I was a migrant worker. I mean, back then, you know, we would go to California, Florida, you know, you name it, everywhere, Florida, West Texas. And so you had to get up early. And then you had to get up early to go to work. And so I think from then on, I think being a teenager, high school, junior high, I think that has instilled in me the idea that, you know, if you're going to, you got to work hard. You got to be there, man. You just got to be there. And so I think for me, waking up early is automatic now. I don't use an alarm. 4:30 is pretty much, you know, the norm for me.
So how much quality sleep are you actually getting?
I'm good with 5 hours.
Okay.
I'm one of those. I'm good with 5 hours. And I'm not like, oh, I only got 4 or only got 6. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I just
do what you have to do.
Just do what I got to do. And so for me, when I get to work and nobody's there, because once they get there, there's 45 pelados, like they say, coming in and they're asking, you name it. So
yeah, your attention gets separated by
exactly.
45
So
different people.
my staff, the office staff, tries to keep them at bay because, and so like this morning before I come in here, I was, we just got 200 new photos that I had to catalog and put into the platforms, and so I was just doing that quickly so I could come over here, and so for me, getting there early is super productive. I think it has helped me a lot, and it might not be for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not a person that's going to be up at midnight or 1 working on something. No.
Yeah.
Nah.
You're not a night owl.
Nah, never. Never was, never will be. I mean, sometimes I'll go to sleep at 8, but sometimes I go to sleep at 10.
What is it about that kind of lifestyle that people are afraid of? Like, because coming from COVID, I was drinking a shitload. Like, I was pretty much an alcoholic.
Jeez.
But I would just barbecue, drink, and then repeat every single day, and go to sleep late.
Yeah.
And then I figured, like, fuck, this is not helping my life at all.
Yeah.
So when I started working out last year, I've cut out like probably 99% of alcohol that I drink now. And I've noticed that it's helped me productive, but I would go to sleep late, and sometimes I feel bad about going to sleep early, but then I figure out there's nothing going on at that time.
Right.
What is it about that mentality that like you had to break?
I think for people that like you, they feel guilty for going to sleep early. I mean, I think it's been instilled in us that you should just keep going. But your body, everybody's body is different. You know, for me, my body says it's 7, or 8. It's time to go sleep, and I'm excited to wake up in the morning. I'm excited to get up in the morning.
Where did you get that from? Because most people aren't excited. I
don't know.
When it comes down to it,
don't know.
I would say that a lot of people hate.
They
waking,
hate it.
Yeah, they hate it. They're depressed. How did you get to that?
I don't know. I don't know. I love getting up early at night.
Do you think it's a discipline that you kept on just getting?
I think it's discipline. Maybe, yeah. My wife gets mad at me because at night I'm like, I can't wait to go to work tomorrow. I can't wait. I mean, I love what I do. It's an exciting business,
Yeah.
And I just enjoy getting up early.
Would it be as exciting if you weren't making the amount of money that you were making, and you just had to deal with the headaches?
Probably not. There are 2 things. I think 2 things get me excited. Of course, making the money, and 2 is that you don't work for somebody else.
Yeah.
For me, that was the hardest thing, the scariest thing. But it was the best thing that I could have done. And it's not for everybody, of course, but for me it was. I mean, I'm arrogant. I think I can do anything better than you probably. And sometimes I can, sometimes I'm not, but
You're willing to try it.
I'll try it, yeah. And so what gets me excited is the business that we built and the fact that it's successful.
Yeah.
And it's fun. My employees, I mean, they really like us. We have people who've been there for 10, 12, 15 years.
Wow.
This is a warehouse job, okay?
Yeah.
We pay them well.
Yeah. So talk about the culture of a business, because for me, I can foresee actually getting a place where this is going to be, I'm going to be manufacturing this type of stuff in the future.
Okay.
What are some of the struggles that I'll come up with during that time?
First is going to be rent, okay? Main thing you got to do with rent is that this is what I did with where we're at now is you negotiate the rates, okay? Find out what the rates are, and negotiate the rates, okay? And do several. Don't just do a 2-year, okay? Do a 2-year with 2-year options,
Okay.
and negotiate the rates then.
Because prices always go up.
Right. So that's what I did. I did 5-year with another 2-year extensions at that rate. It went up a little bit.
Yeah.
But if I wouldn't have done that, then I'd be paying 10, 15% more now.
Jeez.
Because I'm on the extension part, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing, huh?
You've expanded like a couple of times.
Yeah,
right?
So we originally were an old building on Ash. It was 10,000 square feet. We sold the building, moved to another warehouse that was 15. Then we went to 20. Now we're at 25,000 square feet. Yeah. And it's full
To the I've
to the
seen
rafters.
It.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, people have no idea, and people say we can't find you. We don't want you to find us.
Yeah.
We don't want you to come by locally. I mean, we don't. I mean, I don't even arrogant, but it's the truth. I mean, we're so busy. It's not geared for shopping.
Yeah.
There's pallet racks everywhere. There's cords and fans and stuff everywhere. Machines going on. So for the liability part, we don't want people walking in. So that's why we have the sales every so often. So I would say the main thing is negotiate your lease.
Okay.
Be smart about it. Go in prepared. Ask. Don't take their first offer. Say, go back and 2 cents, 3 cents, whatever it is, and then do the options. Do the options, because on the options you're not tied to that. You can walk away once that lease is up, and options coming up. I'm gonna move.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so
it's flexibility.
Yeah, it's a flexibility to do that. So that's the main thing. What was the question again?
So the first year that I'm going to be going into this business.
Lease.
Yes.
That's the main thing. Don't go crazy on material stuff. Save your money. Don't go crazy on fancy stuff and bookshelves and sofas and chairs and stuff like that.
Well, I don't think a lot of people understand that wealth is relative. So for example, if I can live off $20,000 a year and I'm making $100,000 and $250,000 a year, well, I can live for the next so many years like that.
Right.
I think a lot of people they love the shiny objects and stuff like that. And I see it too. It's like, I don't understand it because I've always been a penny pincher, but also there's part of me like I want to go and spend some money once I get it. I know once I get there, I'll be fine. But I think a lot of people are living not within their means right now, and I think that's why so many people are unhappy.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
It's true. I mean, everybody wants a new car, right? But you can't go into it being car poor. I call it car poor. In other words, your car is worth more than your house. There's a problem.
Yeah.
So just be smart, live within your means, and be ready when that time comes for you to get that new car. Get it. I mean, if you can afford it and it's not gonna stretch the budget, yeah, of course. I mean, everybody wants a new car or a new house. So
how are you when it comes to spending money?
I'm frugal.
Yeah.
I'm frugal. Yeah.
Would you say that is a characteristic of having success?
Yeah. I think so. I mean, think about when you're shipping, 1,000 packages and you learn to notice things like an item that should weigh 8 ounces is now in a box that's weighing 2 pounds. So now instead of remember, you have free shipping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're paying for that.
Yeah.
Well, the customer's paying for it, but it's going to come out of you. So yesterday we had an incident where we sell a small bowl. It's like a 6x10 bowl. It should ship on an envelope. It should weigh less than a pound, right? So they can go by USPS, right? So it should be about $4. I see it. It's in the UPS pickup section. I'm like, okay, why is a bowl that should be going by post office that's $4 going now by UPS that's going to be 8 something? Okay. So I asked this. Oh, it's because that bowl weighed too much. Okay, let's find a bowl that weighs less. So all of a sudden, now you're making $4 more,
right,
or $5 more
instead of spending.
But if you wouldn't have caught that, there's $5 that you threw away.
Yeah.
So what I learned in the restaurant business, because what I did for Taco Cabana is, I would call that troubleshooter. We came in and sued this other chain that copied us, went to the Supreme Court. We won. We took them over. It's called 2 pesos back in Houston. So when I was down here working at Taco Cabana here in the Valley, I got promoted to go up there as VP. So what I did was I went and cleaned house, basically. And I was a troubleshooter. So what that means is like you walk, you look, you observe, and you find the problems before they become huge issues.
Right.
So as I'm walking by the warehouse, I'm always noticing things. What's being done correctly, what's being done incorrectly, and then it's fixed.
So you're technically micromanaging because it's coming out of your pocket.
A bit, yeah. And then teach somebody else what you just did so that they can also spot that.
I got you.
Okay. Because we ship on so many platforms and so many different items and so many options. So you want this bowl. Do you want it in what 12 colors? Do you want them in 10, 20, 50, 100s?
Yeah.
What size? So as people are pulling orders to be packed, one of the things that I like to do is walk by before the orders are pulled and make sure that they're pulling the right item. There's nothing worse than sending the wrong color, wrong size, wrong quantity, because then you have to fix that, and it's going to cost you money to send the correct one. So I'm teaching the staff how to troubleshoot, how to spot the problems before, and that's so important, especially when you get into the online business. You know, if you only have one SKU, well, it doesn't matter. It's just that.
How many SKUs do you have?
Oh God,
That many?
thousands.
Yeah, I think I still remember one of the quotes you told me. A business owner will always try to find the cheapest option.
Yeah,
is that still true?
Well, yes, if you're comparing apples to apples.
Okay.
Right. I mean, I don't buy merchandise. I mean, I buy it because it's cheap, but it's also going to be quality. It's going to be good. And so so yes and no, I guess.
You just have to know when to do it.
When to do it, yeah. And
it only comes with experience.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. I get you.
Yeah.
So before we finish off the podcast, in all your cumulative years of life, business, what is the best piece of advice you can offer somebody that's barely going into entrepreneurship and somebody that's been in entrepreneurship that's facing some struggles right now?
The main thing I learned and has been the history for my business, our business, is change, adapting. When we first started, how we started 20 years ago and where we're at now is night and day. And so if you don't keep changing and adapting, you're going to die. There's a saying that says you never step into the same river twice. And it's the truth about business. I mean, you have to listen to your customers. You have to read the market and keep changing, keep adapting. I mean, during COVID, people lost their jobs. A lot of women were at home. They started making candles. I never sold bowls for candles, right? So all of a sudden, they started taking our bowls and started making candles at home and selling them online.
Wow.
That is now probably 40% of our business.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's COVID. COVID created that,
People
and now
figured out a way how to make money.
Oh, they had to pay the bills, so they figured out, well, I can make candles, and all of a sudden, that's like 40% of our business. So keep changing, keep adapting. When you go into your business, have some flexibility because let's just say I'm only going to sell butter. Maybe you're going to sell cheese. Maybe you're going to sell whatever. You just never know. Yeah. So listen to the market, listen to what your customers are wanting, because a lot of the designs that we have now is because customers wanted them.
And it's not like just one customer asking; it's like tons of them.
Tons of them.
So you're taking in the market research and all that stuff.
And if several people are asking for the same item, guess what? Maybe there is a market for it. So you bring it in, you put it out there, and guess what? Now you're selling thousands and thousands. So always keep listening.
You give the customer what they want.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So keep adapting, keep changing. So
awesome, Jesse. I appreciate you coming on the podcast. We'll see you guys next time on the sesh. Peace.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me.